Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. So today it's my first video of 2021, and after the difficult year that was 2020, at least we know whatever happens this year, it can't be any worse, can it? Hello guys, welcome back. So today we're going to have a look at 4 of my favourite really gentlemanly smelling fragrances from Dua Fragrances. Let's flip the camera angle for this one and check them out. Okay guys, here we go. So we're going to be looking at what I think are some of Dua Fragrance's best, most gentlemanly smelling scents. Dua, of course, release a heck of a lot of stuff. They really pump out a ton of fragrances. They're known originally best for doing inspired expressions, also known as clones of well-known niche fragrances. Lately, they've diversified a lot. They do hybrid fragrances where maybe they've mixed the notes of 2 fragrances from Creed together. Now they're doing ones with 3 fragrances. They've really branched out into some more obscure kind of niche fragrances, and they've got some really great original fragrances too. What I think sometimes you might overlook from the, if you just look at all the tons of stuff that they pump out, maybe you're not the kind of person who desperately wants to rush out and buy the latest hybrid of 3 different Roger Dove fragrances or whatever they've done. Some of the ones they've done where they recreate really stylish, gentlemanly, old school scents are absolutely brilliant, and I really love them. In all cases in this video, you're going to find that the original fragrance is either a very expensive niche fragrance or a discontinued fragrance that you cannot get anymore. So they've really captured the essence of each one of these absolutely almost perfectly. Nothing's identical ever when you do this, but so close that you shouldn't have any real issues with feeling disappointed if you've ever tried the original. Let's get stuck into the list then. As you can see then, the first fragrance here that we're going to talk about is Invasion of the Barbers from Dua. So this, of course, is their recreation of the very famous aromatic fougere fragrance, or perhaps oriental fougere, Invasion Barbar from MDCI Parfums. And I'm going to talk about the original releases a bit where appropriate. So Invasion Barbar has an absolutely great reputation throughout the fragrance community. A 2005 release from perfumer Stéphanie Bacouche from MDCI Parfums, a French company. The note listing for this scent is bergamot, violet leaf, thyme, cardamom, lavender, ginger, patchouli, vanilla and musk. So this is a very classy, powdery, slightly sweet, spicy, and also, although it's sweet, it's also, in my view, at the same time, a rather dry fragrance. It's absolutely exquisite. It definitely does have this, I think, this powdery thing. It has this air that you're clean, you're fresh, you've just come out of the barber shop. It's got some note listings I've seen also have grapefruit in the note listing, but it has an element of citrus freshness, a hint of soapiness, lovely lavender. These spices, the cardamom, really tends to give things a creamy aura. So it's one of the least dated smelling gentlemanly scents out there. It has a really classic, timeless vibe. It's clean, yet it's complex. There's spices in there. I think there must be more going on than just ginger. It's really hard to sort of describe this one. I almost get like, this probably sounds really weird, I'm reminded of a sandy kind of feel. I don't know really what I mean when I say that, but I love this fragrance. If you love the idea of the old school fragrances, the so-called barbershop fragrance, if you know, being in the most upscale barbers ever, they might spray you with MDCI Parfums Invasion Barbar. If you like that kind of idea, but you don't like dated smells, this is a superb one to check out, maybe if you don't think you like barbershop fragrances at all. Now, the original fragrance is terribly expensive. It's not the most expensive niche thing ever, but it is up there in price. Invasion of the Barbers by Dua, it gives you a 30ml bottle, and the prices for these, I've listed some of the prices on my little bit of paper here, but one of the ones I'm going to mention in a minute is $60 for 30ml, and these are all in that kind of ballpark. They very often got special offers. I will put the link to their site in the description, and at the time of filming this there is one, so those are always flagged up, so they can be quite a lot cheaper than that if you get a special offer, which is often going on. Invasion of the Barbers then, just of course all the same notes in the listing, and I've really compared these two closely together actually. It's actually my second bottle of this one. I actually got through a bottle, which is very rare for me, of this one before, so I've re-upped it. It's exceedingly close to the original fragrance. Just in the opening, maybe there's something a little bit more transparent and delicate in the original, the Invasion Barbar, but after a few minutes, or certainly after an hour or so, you really won't notice much difference if you A/B them on a card, and even more so that will be the case on skin. One of the only big differences is that the Dua ones are concentrated at extract de parfum, so they're usually a lot stronger than the original fragrance that they are emulating. That can lead to some differences in your experience of the scent, but it also means that they tend to be stronger and last longer than the original fragrances. Invasion Barbar, a good performer for me, not amazing. Invasion of the Barbers, see what they did there with the name, very, very good performer, a little bit better than the original fragrance. So really, really classy stuff. If you don't fancy splashing out on the original, this is one that I can highly recommend trying. I do love the original too though, and I am glad and lucky to have that in my collection. Okay, so our next choice here, now forgive me because it was in the last video, but it's a legendary scent. It's By Man from Dolce & Gabbana. This was a 1997 release, and Dua's tribute to this is simply called Pour On, and you can see what they've done with the packaging. I guess it's kind of, it looks, is that a leopard or a jaguar? Or even slightly a tiger, I don't know, but the original fragrance has a zebra skin thing, and this was an absolutely brilliant release from back in 1997, perhaps because the bottle I think looks a bit like a female cosmetic product, and the name, I don't know if it appealed to everybody, so the fragrance obviously I don't think was a big commercial success, and then therefore disappeared from our shelves very soon after its release in 1997. It is generally described as one of the best designer barbershop style fragrances out there. Again, I would call it a sort of neo-fougere, or maybe an oriental fougere, because it's not very green or mossy as some barbershop scents can be. It doesn't smell like Brut by Fabergé or something like that, but it is a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. The note listing for this one, you've got walnut, pepper, artemisia, lavender, amber, beautiful sandalwood, gaiac wood and leather, and it was Max Gavry, the perfumer, for the original one. This of course discontinued and very, very hard to find. You tend to have to pay a lot of money if you can find one on eBay. There are also issues that it's really going to be quite old. Sometimes the top notes could be gone and all that kind of thing, so really, really hard to find and frightfully expensive if you do even track one down on eBay and you don't know what you're going to get. I absolutely love this one. It's very easy to wear. Again, kind of with Invasion Barbar in a way. It doesn't smell mega dated. I guess some people may find it has a slight 90s vibe, but it doesn't have a 70s, 80s hairy chest vibe. It's creamy again. I think there might be some cardamom in this one too. It has a beautiful sandalwood note, quite a lot of lavender. Not mega soapy or citrusy, it has a certain sweetness. It's sort of a little bit reminiscent, just a little bit, of things like Jean Paul Gaultier's La Malle, which came out just a couple of years later, but I think it's more sophisticated and a little bit more classy to my nose than that one, despite the slightly tacky bottle. Dua's Pour On then is a great, great alternative to the original fragrance. You're looking at $60 for your 30ml. Again, the discounts they often have, it can be even cheaper than that. Superb performance. I've really A/B'd these two next to each other, and I've got some on a card here. What Dua have done with this one is spot on. Nearly all Duas are very, very close to the original. None of them are identical, and some better than others in how close they are. None of them are anything but pretty good to my nose, but this one, you're looking like 99%. I can't really tell a difference between the two fragrances. If you have not tried By Man, honestly guys, trust me, if you just get Pour Homme, you will know how Dolce & Gabbana by Man smells. It's absolutely a classic fragrance, a kind of a must try for fans of this style of scent, and Pour Homme is really the closest thing you ever need to the original fragrance. Okay, now moving on, here's one that we don't hear much about from Dua, I don't think, but I'm really happy to find that it's still available on their website. And this one's called Chypre Supreme. Sadly for me, I've never even tried the original fragrance. It's their take on Tom Ford's Moss Brèche, I think that's how you pronounce it. That was a 2007 release from Tom Ford in the Private Blend series. I think it was one of the very first ones that came out therefore. A fantastic Chypre type fragrance, which is green and mossy, somewhat resinous, very complex, and actually very old school fragrance smelling. This one could be one that you may find dated. I'll give you the note listing. You've got beeswax, clary sage, cedar, tarragon, rosemary, labdanum, benzoin, and patchouli. This one is bitter, it's resinous, it's also green, but it's quite smooth at the same time. It's classy, it's upscale, it's very rich. It's got a kind of old school oak moss vibe. I don't know how they did that with modern regulations, but it really has that old school vibe. This is one where I actually smelled it and thought, if you gave me this blind smelling it and said this is an old fragrance I got on eBay from the 70s or 80s, I'd think, yeah, you can smell it's got ingredients they don't use anymore. It's absolutely gorgeous stuff, very grown up, not going to be to everyone's taste. You've got to be into your green classic Chypre type fragrances, classic gentlemanly type of smells to really appreciate this one. And some people may not love it, but I think it's absolutely a masterpiece. I would love to smell the original, and therefore I can't comment on the similarity, but it's very strong. Look at that dark juice, and it's a really stunning fragrance. I really enjoy this. This is one of the few actually where somebody actually gave me a small decant ages ago, which I did use up my 10 ml of that, hence why this one doesn't have much of a dent. But I'm looking forward to using this one in the remainder of the cold season that we're in here, because it's great for that. Superb performance again, Chypre Supreme. You don't hear much about that one. So the fragrances so far have had a slightly fougere, Chypre, old school type of vibe about them. This one's something a little bit different because it's a citrus aromatic type of fragrance, and it's called Best Citrus Ever. You've heard me talk about this one before, probably if you are one of the channel's regular viewers. Hello to both of you. So a superb, as you would expect, citrus fragrance. It's based on Henry Jacques Iroir. Henry Jacques, a very expensive, probably slightly overpriced house, making exquisite creations, but they are incredibly uber high-end niche. And the fragrance Iroir is one that I have only smelled very briefly, thanks to Massam Raza, the main man at Dua, sending me a sample when he sent this fragrance to me. These were all sent to me for free. I'm very grateful for that. I have a large Dua collection now, and I'm really lucky that I do get the chance to get these free. The reason I continue to feature them every month, once a month on the channel, is because I really think they're really good fragrances with great performance, and I want to share them with you guys. So the notes for Best Citrus Ever are kind of simple. Neroli, lemon, lemon leaf, iris, lavender, sandalwood, labdanum, and vetiver. It's a soapy, fresh, kind of juicy, but sort of herbaceous, and even a little bit spicy all at once citrus fragrance. It's kind of soapy too. If you like things maybe like Chanel's Pour Monsieur, Dior's Eau Sauvage, Acqua di Parma fragrances, it has some of the best elements of those. A definite slightly old school 1950s kind of vibe to me. Even a sort of citrus barbershop vibe. I think in Europe, Spain and Italy, barbershops, Turkish barbershops too, they tend to be giving you a rather more citrusy fragrance if they spray something cheap on you, and this is like the ultimate upscale rendition of that. Fantastic longevity for a citrus fragrance, and really nice spicy, vibrant, herbaceous citrus accords mixing in a very charming, affable, gentlemanly kind of way. I've taken this on summer holidays or holidays to hot places even in the winter. But yeah, when I'm out in a hot country, this one has really pleased me as a daytime scent, and it still got good performance, works equally well in the nighttime. So there you go guys. We've got 4 really good gentlemanly fragrances that you can pick up from Dua Fragrances, and they have recreated stuff that's either frightfully expensive, in the case of Invasion Barbar, or actually almost impossible to get in the case of the others two. I'm not sure Iroha might even be discontinued. So let me know if you've tried any of these, anything else that you've tried from Dürr. What do you think about the house and about what they do in general? I'll be interested to hear in the comments down below. Thanks a lot for joining me, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Remember, whatever you're doing in life, let's project.